Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not to like a little impromptu Saturday night broadcast, shall we? As we have some fun here tonight on the Captain Esports Network. Got a little bit of a message earlier today from our Faster Pastor friend. I know who you are, Thomas. I was making a joke there. Who sent a message to me and said, "Hey man, we got a little issue tonight. Can you fill in for somebody?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. I got nothing else to do tonight." So here we are tonight, getting ready for the NSR kickoff of their season, the Xfinity Weekly Series, presented by 811 here at Chicagoland Speedway, virtually on iRacing. Honored that they've come to the bottom of the list, I guess, to get me. Nobody else available tonight? I'm just kidding. But no, we're getting ready to go racing here tonight for 200 laps, 300 miles here around this mile and a half, 18-degree Chicagoland Speedway, as the season kicks off here. Open setups here tonight in the B car or Xfinity car, whatever you want to call it. Got a pretty good grid of guys right now. Looks like 32 ready to go racing. I know they were taking people all the way up until the 23rd hour, if you will, or whatever the proper terminology is for that. So, got qualifying coming up here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to take the opportunity here. Let's show off some things here, like the schedule for the season. There it is on the screen tonight, Chicagoland Speedway. The first 4 races are at least announced, according to this. I got this off Discord, so this might not be official, literally. But I know that tonight we're at Chicagoland. We're at Dover next week. We're at Atlanta Motor Speedway the weekend after Thanksgiving, and then Auto Club Speedway after that. At least according to this page, there's no telling. But I do know they race all the way up until February, and they'll crown a champion at that point. So Chicagoland tonight, you see the laps. There are stage breaks tonight, so it's going to be a little different. Somebody might have to stay on top of me on that one. All of a sudden, we're under caution at lap 46, and I try to figure out why. But no, I'm just kidding. So should be a good race here tonight. Get a good group of guys. Got awesome viewers ready to watch. I'm sure Stoney's got his friends here ready tonight. And we're going to have some fun here. A lot of names that, yes, unfortunately, I've never seen before. There are a couple that I've either raced against, wrecked, or have broadcasted for. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, looking forward to it. Qualifying should be about to start here in just a moment or so. There it is. There's the checkered flag being waved. And let's get qualifying started here. One lap. So it's literally get out of the pits, get what you can get. And not to mention the colder tires at this track is going to be a little tricky as we get around this mile and a half old, because you got the bumps and the obviously not so straight straightaway of the back stretch, and of course the D shape on the front stretch can lead to some issues out there on the track. You know what? First driver on track, I believe. He was the first one to at least pop in there. Let's see if he ends up being the first one out. Nope, looks like somebody's beat him out there on track. Colby Hartung is going to be the first car, it looks like, that will get to the grid. And there he is in that number 21 USO car. Of course, today being Veterans Day, big shout out to those who have fought for our country in the past, present, and even future. In open setups, so I wonder what kind of setups we got in this car for tonight. You know, obviously you got so many different websites where you can get open setups from. You got people that create their own. So I think you're going to see a little bit wider of a stance when it comes to lap times than you might normally see in a race week. As we cross the start-finish line, Colby, you'll be the first one across. 30-24, that's not bad. I saw 29s in practice, but that might have had some draft involved. As Jason Hastings crosses the line, let's check on the faster pastor. He's out here in the 811 car. Got to give a little shout out to him. He goes out here and gets me hooked up on a Saturday night to broadcast a league. Strickland going to put it on the pole, 30-10. Good lap there. And for those who have never watched the broadcast, it's just like a road course down there at the bottom. You see purple. Purple's good. That means they're on a pole run. Green means they're on a faster lap, which it's their first and only lap, so green's going to be good. Yellow means not so much. But I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be into green because it'll be their fastest lap no matter what. Mark Bruno. You need Liquid Moly number 19. I got to find out if we're allowed to talk about Bruno or not, but either way, he's in this race tonight. As he crosses the line, lap time 30-28 P3. So Strickland got him covered by a 10th right now. Let's see who else we can get out here with. How about Ed Perry? I'm just randomly picking drivers. Ed Perry, the number 30 car, this Camaro. See it kind of sliding off turn 2 there. A little tight, maybe. Puts it right down that white line. Couple bumps that'll send him up the track. Brings it off 4. Almost gets the wall. Put it right down on that apron. He actually missed the apex of the apron there, but still runs a 30-30. Good lap on his part. Brooks has completed his lap. That car looks broken. I mean, that car's got a lot of movement in it. Justin Cope here. I mean, the whole left side was lifted. A lot of travel in that car, that tells me. Now, by the way, I think this is a qualifying session that goes for a few. Oh, and he lost it there over in turn 1 as I turned my head to see the clock. I did look. I believe this is like a 15-minute qualifying session, so they have a few minutes to get their laps in. So that's why you're able to see me kind of go in and pick out a car and watch him qualify. So unfortunately for Cope, he's not going to qualify well. Justin Lewis, 31.91. I know he was searching around for a setup before the race. He in the Spire Motorsports paint scheme. Still got a lot of cars who have not come out to qualify yet. There's Ruth. So they have literally opened the door for me, by the way, tonight when it comes to who I can talk to and whatnot. The broadcast booth set up here. Because in Discord, you know, you got your different leagues have their different channels and stuff. They have a channel for the Infield Care Center. So I can talk to somebody who wrecks. And then they got post-race interviews channel. So very organized. Well done by the owner of the league, whose name I'm going to botch because it is an Italian name. And, of course, when I think of Italian and being married to into an Italian family from New York, you would think the name would be Sakochi. It's not. Sakosi in the 8 car, the owner of the league. Appreciate him for allowing me to show up here. Wonder how much stone he put in his pocket to say, hey, you might want to put this guy at a booth tonight. And for a guy that did not get to run a single lap of practice, he runs 11th fastest, 30:109. He was busy adding league members during practice. I was in there talking to him. He's like, "Up, there's another one. Up, here's another one. Here's another one." All right, Cameron Combs in the 51 car. And sorry to disappoint you when I tell you this is going to be very vanilla, so to say, for me, because, again, I don't know a lot of these people. Holmes running right up there against the boards off turn 1 and 2. Some say that's about the fastest line to get around Chicago in 1 and 2, but obviously a lot of different opinions there as KTM number 51 rotates down to 3 and 4. And he's going to abort. And then the name of the night right here, Brady Schreckengost in the General Lee looking car. And he's rubbing the boards already. I've been told he's got some aggressiveness in his nature. And he runs up there against the boards, 1 and 2 down the back straightaway here. Apparently they didn't have a Dodge Charger nose to work with for the 01 car, or else that could have literally been the General Lee. He's got "Send It" on the side of his car. That should say enough. Comes off turn 4. His lap is 10th fastest, 30:78. So obviously the wall scrape didn't do much. So he's still got 20, he carried to one, about 15 cars or so that have not run a lap yet. And you know what? Oh, there's a few people in Discord here. I can go talk to a couple of them. Let's see. Let's bring Justin Cope up here. If we're going to do this, we're going to do this right. I'm going to start right at the guy who had issues in qualifying. Let's go to Cope. Let's see. I want to make sure microphone's on for Justin here and make sure he hasn't ran off or something. Justin, you there, bud?
Yeah, how's it going, man?
No, I'm good, man. So first things first, didn't know if you knew this or not, but I could see like your whole entire left side of your engine on the apron.
Oh, yeah?
A little travel in your car.
That don't sound good.
No, not at all. But a little bit worse issues over in turn 1. Did just get out from under you?
Yeah, I guess I got too confident.
That'll happen
Just
sometimes.
lost control.
Yeah, it'll happen
It
sometimes.
is what it is.
So, what's your expectations for tonight? Obviously, you probably know this a lot more than I do.
I don't know. There's a lot of guys in here. Definitely a lot of fast guys. I'd like to maybe a top 10. I'd be happy with that.
Okay.
See how it goes, I reckon.
So, what's obviously going to be starting tail end Charlie in the field, which looks like it's going to be somewhere around 32nd, 33rd. Any kind of, obviously, stage point's going to be kind of tough, especially if this race goes green to start with. But any kind of goal, top 20 by the end of stage 1, top 15, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, that really wouldn't be too bad. Getting stage points is probably going to be unreachable
Hey guys,
starting
our
out, but
broadcast is live
just
on
do the best you can,
Captain
try to hang in there, stay out of the wrecks, stay clean.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, best of luck here this evening, and appreciate your time. Good luck tonight, and good luck to the season.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Qualifying looks like wrapping up here as we talked to Justin Cope, who went for a little spinneroonie in qualifying here. What room do you want to go to?
Munster Motorsports,
Monster
please.
Motorsports for him.
Thank you.
There is roughly 655 different channels in here. I'm kidding, but all right. Qualifying is over, and I didn't experiment tonight, so we're gonna see if this works or not. Right now, it definitely did not work. It was way off. So all right, yeah. It was supposed to change the name colors to the color black in the background so that we could actually see the drivers' names. So give me a second here. Let me fix this. The only reason, and what's rough about this, is I can only do it when they're gridding. Like, I cannot do this at all. Oh, well, it changes that text to black. So just give me 1 second here, and I can fix this issue really quickly. The power of live streaming. There we go. Starting lineup for the race here tonight is Strickland on the pole, 30.103. He'll start next to Andrew Payne, Colby Hartung, Mike Bruno in row number 2, Ed Perry and Jerry Culver, row 3. Joseph Grjalva, who I think follows me everywhere, and John Hammond, row number 4. Row 5, Jason Hastings and Brady Schreckenghost in the General Lee, starting in the 10th position. Cameron Combs, the New York driver, starting next to the faster pastor himself, Stoney Benfield. I want to say Sikochi every time. Mark Sikosi and Brian Wiggins. In row number 7, Jason Kraft, Michael Brooks Jr. in row 8, row 9, Andy Reeves and Justin Lewis. Thomas Stanley, Corey Hines in row 10. Not Corey Heim, but Corey Hines. Different people. Dakota Ehrman Ehrman, I should say, and Jesse Priest. Eugenio Alonso and Brandon Banks there in row number 12. Row 13, Jeff Chandler and Timothy Davis. Cody Kinsey, Justin Cope. D.L. Lemon. Is that not a short track racing name right there? If I've ever seen one. And Craig Parks in 30th. Will Young and Jason Crumley going to round out the 32 starters for tonight's NSR NC811.org Xfinity Weekly Series. Race information here tonight. 200 laps. As I mentioned, stage breaks at 45 and 90. 75-degree track temp. And the sun's starting to set a little bit, so we'll go under the lights here in just a little bit. This 1.5-mile track built back in 2001. 18 degrees of banking from bottom to top. No progressiveness here. Just a straight worn-out banking. And I don't think I mentioned this enough. There's I said Aldi almost. Of course I'm going to frit the daggum store. IKEA over in turn 3. All right, pace car lights are off. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. Check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. Thank you very much for joining us on a special Saturday night racing. Already seeing 2-3 wide. Brady going to the top. Well, they were right about the send-it part. As Andrew Payne, that Ryko Motorsports 93, goes to the front. Pretty good, clean and green start for a lot of guys who don't know each other, really. A couple cars not making the grid. Timothy Davis, Eugenio Alonso, they might be over at IKEA shopping right now. Talk about Bruno here for a second. Mike Bruno under attack. Schreckenghost already up to 5th from 10th on the start of this race, ripping that top sign. Going to eat up some tires there being up there, but that is a groove you can use to get around this track. But Bruno not letting him go too much. Is right in front of him, that purple Brandt number 87 of Michael Strickland, the pole sitter, already falling back to 4th here after the start. Oh, trouble for Andy Reeves. He is at the inside wall. The Raptor, number 7, has gone for a lazy slide, gets it back on track, and I don't see much damage, if any at all, for that 7. We continue green though. Hey, Jerry Culver ripping the top. And putting that Copenhagen Chevrolet up to 2nd. I like the look of that car. It's got like this old school look, but like you see the little bit of that color design of like a new school paint. As Culver actually led that lap. Safe to say he snuffed out the lead. Jump back here, mid-pack. 4 cars under a blanket, 77 of Michael Brooks. That 0 car, that is Jesse Priest. Michael Brooks Jr., as I mentioned there, in that 99 car, that white car there. And there's a 17 of, I think that's actually the 82 of Craig Parks you're going to see on the ticker. Throwing me off with the numbers. It happens. So for viewers, by the way, I should break the news to you guys, huh? In case you didn't see last night's broadcast. We have 1,000 subscribers now on YouTube. We hit it finally. Big shout out to, he's in this Discord page. I just didn't see him tonight. I was going to give him a shout out. Steve Tucker, who went out and found people, I think. I hope it was people. And not drones, or not drones, but what do they call those things? Those fake accounts or whatever? I can't remember the word right now. Anyway, Stoney Benfield passing John Hammond for the 8th position. It's a pretty spiffy looking Pennzoil Chevrolet. Joe Grijalva, Papa Grijalva, watching his son out here racing. Joe is, Joseph, I should say, a part of the military. Appreciate him, as always, on a day like today. And obviously appreciate the family and what they've done in El Paso. Which is weird to see El Paso saying go Army, which obviously is more of a personal thing than maybe a UTEP person cheering on Army in the same conference, I think, or... No, wait, they're not in the same conference. No. Forgive me. As the Jaws towing number 30 of Ed Perry in the 7th position right now. That is cleared to 00, and they stay side by side with Stoney Benfield there for the 8th spot. Good racing here for some open setups. I say you sometimes will get cars and almost a little slide job there. Stoney had to get out of it. Usually in these kind of setups, you'll get cars that come into this race and might not realize it's an open setup league or wasn't able to find a setup, so they go begging and asking, and they get thrown a setup, and all of a sudden they're looser and all get out because they didn't realize how loose the setup might be. And sometimes that can fool you. But one thing that is not being fooled is Andrew Payne got away, or I should say Culver got away with the lead for just a short time, and Andrew Payne has come back here at lap 10 and taken the lead back from Culver. So I wonder if Andrew might himself have himself a little bit of a long run car here. But the guy that's been moving up through the field is a couple cars to point out here. Brady Schreckengost up 7 spots from 10th to 3rd. And then back here at the 8th position, Corey Hines has moved up from his 20th starting position in an 01 car. That's a Reaper Speed Labs car. Last but not least, let me not forget Will Young back here. He's up 20 spots almost already. And almost got the wall there in that 68 Quencher car. It's a dark shady. Is that like, I wonder if it's, is that like a gold maybe? It's got like the Meineke colors to it almost, if you will. Is that a good comparison there? I mean, everybody notice how like Meineke is the darker shade of yellow? Oh my God, we got an LSU fan in here. Anyways. I like the confidence there in that comment. Bruno battling with Shrek and Ghost for fourth, and no, Bruno almost, or not Bruno, but Shrek and Ghost almost got the outside wall. Clean and green here, 15 laps in. Again, stages lap 45. So they can easily go to 45 on fuel and tires as long as they don't burn them off the car. I always like to stick the weather over there on the right side in case anybody's wondering track temp and stuff like that. But I do appreciate those who have watched the stream for the first time. If you want to hit that subscribe button, I'm pretty much on the air every day for the most part, covering different series, good racing from Monday nights all the way through Sundays. I don't mind chatting with viewers, as Miss Ruth Gardner knows and Miss Barbara Pinion knows, and usually Kip Cook's in here representing the Stoney clan, if you will. Oh, look at this back here. 48 dives it in there. Ehrman sends her into turn 3, makes the pass 2 for 1. There's a scrape of the wall. It was caught, the 68, I think, that caught that outside wall of Will Young. So all of a sudden, his car is starting to fall off. He might have driven the wheels off that car trying to get up through the field a little bit here. And that Quencher car is fortunately falling back. And I noticed that Shrek and Ghost is starting to do the same here. This track will do that to you. It's so inviting to race hard on it. And all of a sudden, before you know it, the pack catches back up. You start getting past for position, and you're back in last. And it's like, what happened? I mean, Jerry Culver now lost fourth. So Culver gone from first back to fifth. A lot of these guys maybe setting up for the short run thinking that there would be a lot of cautions in this race, and that has not been exactly what has happened here. Brian Wiggins in the wheel in number 2 car. There's Sikosi inside in the 8 car. He's already fallen back 5 positions. He did tell me before the race, since he didn't get to run any of practice, his first laps was qualifying, he would use the first 45 laps as a practice session. You think he's maybe getting his feet wet and getting those tires under him now. Checking on the 45 car back here, Andy Reeves, he was the one who had the spin over in turn 1 and 2, did not bring the caution out. He's done a good job of maintaining pace and keeping himself about 20 seconds off the lead, or about 29 seconds back. And on the lead lap here, he's just waiting to catch that break potentially. That'll get him back up there with the field. We're talking about falling off that 68 car. Anybody see the parachute behind it? So Payne leads, and look at this. All of a sudden, the battle for second. Hartung, Bruno, Strickland, and Hines all here. B-Car doing its thing here tonight. Strickland, the pole sitter there, is hanging tight right on the edge of the top 5. Here comes Hines. And this is what this track was all about. Of course, when it was done in 2001, it was all on the bottom. As the track wore in, track started to spread out, and you started seeing some of the great racing that this track produced. And of course, after COVID hit, Yeah, it's kind of sat there. And there have been some talks that NASCAR might go back to the track. I don't think it should have ever lost races, but we all have our opinions. I mean, the one, I think, the biggest complaint that you'll probably hear from people about this track, and I'll share this with viewers who maybe don't live in the Chicago area. I actually had the chance to go to I got to go to one race here at this track. It is literally in the middle of nowhere. You take I-80 like you're heading out towards, like going to Iowa out of Chicago, and you're a good hour to the south and west. And then you take this road, it's like a 2-lane road, and you all of a sudden come up on this open land that has a speedway at it, and there it is. Now, of course, as you see, it's built up a little bit with the IKEA and a couple other things around the track. There's even some stores of adult kind, if you will, around that area. And the only reason I know that's because it was like the only store I noticed just driving through the one day I went. This was, again, 2011. I was looking around at, I'm like, what's around here? And it's like the one store outside of the racetrack. I'm like, all right, guess there's that. Let's go back here to 21st. Justin Lewis. Oh, a little 3 wideness here. Brian Wiggins, Craig Parks. Racing for 20th here. For those who have not seen one of my broadcasts, you'll notice I don't just feature the leader. I do like to go around and find battles and look around, and if I see something I notice, I will go find it. And the one thing I'm catching out of this really quickly is that we have a ton of comers and goers in this race. I mean, we've seen people come up through the field, and then we have seen people now here in the late run just start falling back. Cameron Combs, 51 car, had his issues in qualifying as he tries to get around to 75 for the 10th position. There's the faster pastor. .48 gave him a little squeeze at a 51 there. Kind of shocked him, I think, with that move. Cameron had to bail out of it and get back to the bottom. And Brian Wiggins on pit road. Unscheduled pit stop for the 2. Or is this a scheduled pit stop? I don't see any immediate damage on the 2. Well, maybe some right side damage there. Let's see. Tires, right side's going on. More tires and fuel. Straight up stop. So, interesting strategy call here. One thing I did not get a chance to ask, and I tried to catch up on the rules and everything as much as I could here in the short time I had today. Let me see if I can pull up some rules or anything like that. Here you go. Rules and format really quickly. See if there's a tire limit. You get 5 additional sets of tires in the pits. You got 100% fuel. So obviously you got plenty of tires to use. of a sudden, these cars all back together again. This is literally 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. You got the lap car of Reeves now in here. '16th in here. Everybody just got to kind of hold their lines here as this battle carries on in the Hornet's Nest. Hastings in the Waffle House car. I like it. So one unfortunate deal of moving from Georgia to Indiana recently is I don't have any Waffle Houses anymore. Which is probably good for my health. But anyways, I digress. Brandon Banks in the 54 car. He and Stoney battling. As Andy Reeves goes to pit road, so Andy, not sure if he's just going to go ahead and go in there and get the car fixed up or whatever. I mean, he does got the caution coming up here in a minute, but with the 2 car coming to pit road, he's going to hope that no one goes a lap down. He might be able to get the car fixed and repaired and get out there and get a lucky dog at the caution. Up here at 6, this is Grijalva underneath Jerry Culver. 99 car looking pretty sporty there in that bottom. So Andrew Pine is pulled away 2.5 seconds over Hines. As into the wall goes the 13 of Culver. That might have been a little arrow block there from the 99. Nothing intentional or anything, but you could just see that the 13 got behind the 99's air and it just pushed him right to the wall. And allowed Zierman to get by. I'm trying to get all these passes. There's like so like every time I click somewhere, I see something else going on. And I am not complaining one bit. Appreciate the viewers watching tonight. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Somebody else dusting the wall up. I think that's the 01. And if you're not new to the channel, we appreciate you coming back. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast tonight. Just a one-off thing. Your main person will be back next week, I believe. I hope. I'm actually going to be on a trip next Saturday, so I won't be in town. So I hope the main person returns. Six laps to go this time. Actually make that 5. Payne has already crossed the line. I did check with the league owner, Sikoshi, who said that they throw the caution at the completion of the lap. So I'm assuming as soon as the leader crosses the line here, that'll be when it comes out. As Andrew crosses the line here, 30 or 41 laps in the books. That Ryko Motorsports 93 car. There's Hines in the Reaper Speed Labs 01 car. 2 of the top open setup teams, if you will, right there. Then you got the 21 of Hartong, the USO car. And then Mike Bruno in the Holy Moly, or Liquid Moly, in the 19. And then Michael Strickland there in the Brandt 87, your top 5 here. And then back here at the edge of the top 10 is where the fight is. As Combs and Kinsey and Banks, I'm sorry, not Kinsey, but Priest, all fight it out. Ooh, got a little free there, that 51 did. Jeff Chandler there in the Bruzy number 31 car. Haven't said his name all night. Nice looking chrome paint scheme there in that 31. He's going to get turned into the wall. A little net code there. And that's going to bring the caution out as the 48 looks like went for a spin also. Caution number 1 on the track right at the end of the stage. Go figure that would happen. I definitely look like some net code right there. And Chandler goes to the pit road. That back end's all smashed in. Let's see what. Oh, so the 48 apparently had a black screen issue. That's why you see him stopped on the bottom. But the 31, unfortunately, gets hooked together there with, I didn't see who the other car is. I'm going to look at it again here. The 13, so reciprocal issues here. First caution on the track here at lap 46. So this will end stage 1. Andrew Payne will get the stage win and bring his 93 to pit road. Send it down to my pit crew. Oh, wait, I don't have one. Race off pit road, going to go to the 93 of Payne. So nice job on his part. Hines going to come out second. Bruno, Hartung, Strickland, your top 5 as we step away for a quick second. As you're watching the NSR Xfinity Series presented by NC811.org on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
All right, stage 1 in the books as Andrew Payne with the lead here. As first caution came out for a spin, actually, with the 31 of Jeff Chandler. As the stage was coming to an end there. So the first caution on the track here. So we appreciate everybody joining us here on the Captain Esports Network. Just kind of cleaning some things up here, seeing looks like Brian Wiggins got the lucky dog, so he'll be back on the lead lap. Which is what I expected to happen with that caution coming out. The problem is he's probably short now a set of tires from what everybody else has as we get ready to start stage 2 here. Everybody pretty stout for the most part on pit road, except for this car here. Might have been some damage on that 01, but Brady Schrecken goes to, of course, was up near the top 5 after making his run to the front there. It's a 6 car, might need some blinker fluid. But the 01, unfortunately, fell back a few spots over the 19-second stop. So another clarification to something really quickly here. That 57 of Hines that you're seeing on the timing and scoring, that is him in the 01 car. For those wondering if I say the 01 of Hines throughout the nights because I'm looking at the car. But on the timing and scoring to the left there, you will see he's in a 57. Or Hines 57, if you will. First catch-up joke I think I've ever done on the air. I will relish that opportunity. Sorry, there's a bad joke for the night. I'm done. All right, pace car coming off turn 4, or pace truck, I should say. Gonna hang a left here. Go to pit road, and see the lights are on. A little overcast here in Joliet, Illinois. As they hit the Geico restart zone for the restart. Payne launches. Here we go. As Hines gets down there to the bottom. Bruno there third. And everybody's spreading out side by side. 6th on back. And being told the 6 is blinking really badly now. So I'm not sure what's going on. Cody Kinsey. If anybody has a tinfoil hat or something for him, it might help. For the lead, Corey Hines to the inside. Now here's where I do wish I had some inside sources so I could go find out like what kind of changes were made on the cars during the during the pit stops there, because obviously open setups here, so you could loosen it, you could tighten it, you can do whatever you got to do. And somebody's off the pace. And it's Grijalva. I don't know if it was him. Somebody was yelling, "I'm slow." Grijalva, a lot of right front damage on that car. Not sure what happened. His good run is unfortunately unraveled as he gets it back up to speed. See what happened to Joe here. He's already in the outside wall, it looked like, here and off the pace. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, he cleared himself on the 48's front end. Good job by everybody to avoid him. And that must have been the 48 who I heard yell, "Car high." All right, so no caution. We stay green here, lap 54. Hines with about a 1/10 of a second lead over Payne. Up there at the front, we're watching the battle for the 8th position here as you see the 48 slide up in front of Banks there in the 54. Ehrman gaining a spot, and I'm just trying to see the right side of that 48, and it looks okay. So I don't see any damage there from the little squeeze. And I see Chandler is taking his car behind the wall. I went into Discord to see if I could find him. Maybe I'd have a word with him, but he's gone. And unfortunately, not many of the drivers are in Discord, so you're not going to hear really many interviews probably from me tonight, but probably better off on their hands. Battle of Speed Labs, pretty much, if you will, here. Reaper versus Ryko. A lot of these setup teams, I'm assuming these guys are affiliated with them. I'm assuming by the sponsorship. But these guys work hard every week to get these setups out for people to either purchase or get for free. Some websites are free, some aren't. And some of these guys go out there and work hard. And they put a lot of pride behind them. And that's where you see these two guys up front here. I mean, Hines is trying to hold off Payne for the lead here. Rolling that bottom. I mean, they're racing hard. I mean, they're barely lifting. Hines gets to that right rear. That should drag back to 93 right there. A little side draft down the straightaway. Payne can get, or Payne can get up to the left rear, but he's still too far up to even get to that left rear. Sometimes in a race, you'll see cars literally, and I've heard it before, will let out of the gas down a straightaway slightly just to make sure their right front can get to the left rear tire. Like they will literally back off in that inside lane to the left rear tire and put the air underneath that left rear to drag it back and make the pass going into a corner. Almost like a slide job, but Payne really not losing that momentum to do it. For those who I just taught something to. I think Payne got him. Sure did. Good move by the 93. You never thought that you could train your brain to be side by side with a car going down the straightaway, which you're in the gas full throttle, right? And you let off the gas down the straightaway to back off to a certain part of the car. Bruno inside of Strickland for fourth. Up here, there's the faster pastor, 12th position. As Parks trying to sneak into the 12th spot in that 17 car. Craig's done a good job just being kind of patient and just letting the car roll up there through the field. Jason Kraft unscheduled pit stop, it looks like, for the 10 car. Drinkin' Brothers Racing. That's a team name right there, boys. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh right here under a blanket. And now Will Young's on pit road. Oh, never mind. Maybe it's a blinking issue because it said he was in and it wasn't in. Now he's back in. I don't know. Yeah, he's on pit road. There you go. Wait a minute. The rooster, whose name I can't always remember. Foghorn Leghorn. How do I not remember that? Come on. Boy, I said, boy, you better be out there not hitting that wall. These battles right here. Oh, 54 getting tight there into the corner. Slides up into the 00. That could have been bad. Matter of fact, he could have took out both the zeros. We hit the 100-mile mark here of 300 in the opening race tonight for the NSR Xfinity Series presented by 811, or in particular the North Carolina 811. Of course, if you're in the United States, you have an 811 service to your state. So if you're planning to dig, which I know a lot of us won't be anytime soon because of the cold weather it's coming in, but if you do plan to dig in the future, as the 2-car gets up there and smacks the wall right in front of the leaders, but make sure you call 811 before you do so. It's 1, the law, but 2, a safe move to do. Well, these 2 cars are identical, literally. I mean, the difference, I mean, between these 2 cars right now is the clean air. That's, I mean, as I look at both of them right now, saw the pass there at the 54. I mean, both of them are driving almost exactly the same. They're running the same exact lanes. And it looks like the 01's able to keep it down a little bit longer there. But the one thing he's got to be careful of is that right front tire getting worn out a little bit more because he's not in the clean air. Oh, there he gets the apron a little bit. That's not going to help. I mean, yeah, identical into turn 1. And that's and that comes down to practice. If you're on iRacing and you're wanting to know, like, how are these guys able to be consistent? How are they able to do so many things? These guys practice. And when I say practice, I don't mean they just go up there for about 30 minutes and run laps. They run out there for hours in this setup, and they do little tweaks, and they know the lines every single time. The difference is right there. 93 slides up a little bit there too, and the 01 kind of goes shallower off the corner, which can hurt your right front a little bit, but at the same time allows you to put some air on that nose and get some downforce out of the corner. So 18 laps to go here, stage 2. Payne trying to sweep them both here. 24 viewers. Appreciate you guys. '87 getting a little tight there. Here comes Hartung inside of Strickland now. And he'll make the pass. I mean, the one thing I'm catching here is now the lights are on, you're not seeing the top groove anymore as much. You're seeing mostly these cars going right to the bottom. I think a lot of that has to do with the ambient temperature. Track temp really hasn't moved much. But you'll notice these cars are pretty much rotating the bottom now as we go longer into this run. And what that does is it actually saves more of the tires than running to the top side. You see the 48 make the pass there of Ehrman making the pass on Bruno. He's got a pretty good run here. See if he crosses over and goes inside of one. Of course, I say that, and the 48 jumps to the top. Let's go back here. So we watch his pass here. It looks like the 48 is going to clear the 87 for fourth. So Ehrman, even after the contact with Grijalva a little bit ago, still running pretty well. And now up to the fourth position. But let's jump back here to Jerry Culver, who's been on the struggle bus ever since earlier in this race. Had that contact with the 31 car. And, of course, went out and led some laps. So that car has fallen off big time here. 18th position. Just lost that spot to Justin Cope in the 59 car. And of course you got Ed Perry and Craig Parks here at 13th and 14th. These guys have been fighting it out a little bit. Jason Hastings is like, hey, let me be a part of this. But the main battle's been up here where we've been, up at 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. We'll go back to that in a second. Let's watch Hastings make the move into 49 inside of the 17. And somebody blinking so bad, they're throwing sparks everywhere, including in the fence. And I guess this is where I note the 6 car is right in front of these guys. That's very uncomforting when you're a car in a battle for position. So you got Hartung up here ahead in the 21 car, 4.1 seconds back from the lead. And then you got Ehrman. And then you got this battle here. And there's some lap cars in between. Tell you what, Hines is not. I mean, these two are literally neck and neck. I mean, Hines just tried the top side to see if he can get it to work a little bit there. Try something different. I mean, he's getting a run down the straightaway here. Otherwise, he lost a little bit mid-corner. Gonna try the top side again here. Yeah, Hines is trying to figure out a way just to get some momentum on this 93 car. He's just not able to. Well, he gets a little, I was going to say he gets a little loose, but that car yawled out pretty well there, actually. If you ever watch one of these cars on iRacing, and it's like this in real life too. Something I'll draw your attention to for those who don't get to see this much or watch racing in depth. But watch the left fronts of these cars into corners, and then look where the left rear tire is. You'll notice a little bit of difference. Left front, right on that white line. Left rear is about an inch off that white line. And the difference is basically because the rear end of the car shifts over. And that's where you see the right rear go into yaw, they call it, and puts it out in the air a little bit. And that's a good thing. Now, if you see a vehicle on the highway doing that, it might not be such a good thing. And trust me, I've seen them. Perry and Hastings, somebody got the wall. Bow for 13th right here. Oh, little netcode contact there. 30's in the grass, cutting the yard a little bit. Good save. Might have been a slight Code Brown moment. Three laps to go as they go by the lap car DL Lemon. Another car we have not heard from in this second stage. Let's go back here to the 11th position. Now 12th. That 01 car. Brady Schreckenghost, remember he started back here near the 10th position and drove straight to the front at the beginning of the race. And now he's literally stuck right in 12th after restarting in this area at lap 49. So he's got some things to figure out in that 01 car, as he's got the Kinsey car in the 11th position now in front of him. Payne getting a little loose there off turn 4 as they come back to the line here. Should be the final lap of the stage. Payne in the Ryco Motorsports 93 and in the 01 or 57, whatever you want to call it, the Reaper Speed Labs car. I mean, it's been a matter of inches all night between these two as Payne brings it off turn 4, and he'll sweep the stages, stage 1, stage 2, to Andrew Payne. And now we'll just let everybody cycle through here. I assume the top 10 maybe, and then we'll get the caution flag here. And there it is, caution out. So end of stage 2 at Chicagoland. If is anybody here watching that's a part of one of these two teams? Just curious. Or companies or whatever. So Lucky Dog should be DL Lemon in the 56 car. He'll get back on the lead lap with this caution. And these guys should be coming to pit road right here. And should be one more stop to the finish. Well, you could do two. I've just overheard somebody say they're out of fuel almost. Which after a 45 lap run, somebody did not put enough in. And I think it's the 93 of Payne who's out of gas. The leader did not fill up enough. Whoa. He's going to get to a stall, but he's going to lose some track position with it. goes Hines. He's going to win the race off pit road. Let's see how many spots Payne loses in the end. 2, 3, 4 spots. 5 spots. There you got 5 actually in the end. Yikes. All right, let's step away and hear from our sponsors. NC811.org as you're watching the NSR Xfinity Series here on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
Thank you, Safety Sam, as we're back here at Chicagoland Speedway as we complete stage number 2 as Payne, Andrew Payne that is, winning both stages. But unfortunately, in that second stage, he left himself a little light in the fuel tank and lost 5 spots coming down pit road because he ran out of fuel. And that has handed the lead to Corey Hines in this Reaper Speed Lab number 01 or 57, whatever you want to call it. Colby Hartung, who is ran top 5 all night, right there in second. Jesse Priest, Mike Bruno, and Brandon Banks, now your top 5. All right, so what I want to do really quickly here. We're going to get one to go this time by. I think I have a minute to do this. We had to caution at 90. Let's go back just a random lap here really quickly. And for those who are watching, and again, are novices maybe of iRacing or don't know maybe much about, or it might be still, you know, might not have as much knowledge of racing when it comes to the car. So I'm going to go to a shot here really quickly of just any car down the corners here. If I can get the right camera to work here now. All right, right there. So let's look at this 00. Good example, because you got this, well, sort of white line here. It's kind of worn out. Look where his left front is. I was talking about this earlier with what they call the yaw in the car. So the left front is sitting on the white line, but the left rear, you look, is a good half an inch to an inch to the right of it. So basically what the car is set up to do is as it enters the corner, it turns the car, if you will, shifts the rear end to the right of the car. And what it does, it puts the right rear, which is the most important part of the car, out into the clean air. And it allows what they call side force to hit the car. And it keeps the car basically gaining traction throughout the corner. So when you hear a car talking about side force throughout the race, that's what they mean. And guess what the Cup car in real life apparently doesn't have? Side force. As we come back to the green, one segment we have on this Captain Esports Network, for those who don't know, is a segment we call Turn It Up. Here it is, your chance. Crank those speakers. big shout out to all the veterans, again, who have fought for this country and continue to fight for this country each and every day. As we see the battle for second right there, Payne at the inside of Priest, back up to second he goes. As you see the fan view, if you will, of this track. If you were sitting up in the stands right now watching this race, I've always thought this is a cool camera shot. Thanks to TrackCams22.com for the cameras that they allow us to partner with them and use. So back to the 93 versus the 57, and obviously the first question you ask, has the 57 done anything to the car to help beat the 93? Because the 93 has just been that much better. And when I say that much, I mean as easy as a half pound of air pressure difference. Of course, you see 97 laps to go. So you still got at least one, if not two stops in this race, and that's for you to determine. Do you run this thing the 55? So you went green about 105 to go. So do you run this thing the 52 and a half, 53 laps or whatever and split this into a one-stop run, or do you split it up 50-50? Or somewhere in that range and make it a two-stop or 50-25 or whatever you're comfortable with. Here comes Payne on the back of Hines. See, Payne got in there better on entry, but you see the car wash up in the center. That's part of that dirty air right there. It's great racing up front here. I mean, great racing altogether. I mean, only two cautions in there. Well, the one was a wreck, but pretty much right at the end of the stage, so... I mean, again, I overheard some people say a lot of these guys are new to this league. So if that's the case, we got a lot of newcomers in here, and they're putting on a show like this at Chicagoland. Credit to these guys. This is awesome. What an honor to be a part of this race tonight. Hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. I mean, Hines is getting Payne is getting closer to him. I mean, I'm literally watching. It's like a tenth or not even a tenth, like a hundredth every couple of seconds. And it's down to a tenth exactly, back up to 15 100ths. And again, you saw the 93 wash up the track a little bit. I mean, this is one of those moments where it's like it literally comes down to somebody making a mistake. You know, and if it's missing the apex of a corner by like an inch type of mistake. I'm not talking about like getting loose and washing up the track or something. Keep an eye on this battle for the lead, but let's go back here. Battle between the 17 and 01 for 14th. as Park's going to pass Shrek and Ghost. And was that the blinking car, or was that somebody actually wrecking? Brian Wiggins bringing the 2 car back to pit road. As we see the 30. Ed Perry back here in the 16th position, going to make the pass. For a second there, Shrek Ghost gets right down there at right rear. Oh, and he gets turned! The 30 into the outside wall. Similar situation as the 31 car. And that's the 3rd caution, Ed Perry. And right away, I think that's the 01 I could hear saying, hey, my bad, I screwed up. He said he was trying to side draft here a little bit. Well, let's see. Comes down to try. Well, you know, and Perry also kind of was in a higher lane than you would expect at that point. But still, you got to be aware of what's around you. Unfortunately, the 01 turns a 30 into the wall, and for the second time tonight, the front straightaway claims somebody. Yeah, there's a lot of net code in there, too. All right, leaders are on pit road. Oh, 48 overshoots a little bit. Actually, I guess he's okay, even though he's over the white line. Race off pit road. Hines outruns Payne. Well, this is a good opportunity. Let's step away for a quick second. Let's hear from 811 as you're watching the Captain Esports Network and the NSR Xfinity Series.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
Back here at the Chicagoland Speedway, Virtual iRacing in the NSR Xfinity Series opening race of the season under a 3rd caution, lap 115. Contact between the 01 of Shrek Ghost and Perry. And Perry, unfortunately, in the outside wall. And looks like he's got his damage fixed. And ironically, I clicked the camera on, and they're right back to each other. So let's make sure there wasn't any argy-bargy here. I know Shrek Ghost gave him a ton of room on the front straightaway. I want to make sure. I mean, yeah, he gave him all tight. He almost put himself in a wall to get him room. All right, lights are off on the pace car. This series does do the restarts in the restart zone. The Geico restart zone, so obviously Hines will be able to launch when he does inside that zone. And obviously Payne, Banks, and Ehrman. And then Priest and Hartung, your top 6. We'll have 84 laps to go when we get the green, so obviously still got to get to pit road one more time before the end of this race. Into the restart zone, and here we go. The old inside lane to the apron launch. Some leagues actually don't like that. I don't know how this one feels, but Banks with a good restart there. Clears Payne for second. And just like that, Payne back by Banks for second. So unless somebody's hiding something in their bag of tricks, this might end up being a 2-car battle for the win of this race. But obviously that's why we run the race, because, well, anybody can win it at the right time. You stay on the lead lap, you've got a shot. Track getting that much faster as Payne just ran the fastest lap of the race, 30:56. We're getting down there in the qualifying times. We're about, what, 3/10 off? Back here, the 01 to 6, the 57. Sikosi also in that battle there, that 8-car. Now there's your top 3. How about Justin Cope there in the 9th position? Talked to him pre-race after he had his little spin. And he said his goal by the end of this race would be up in the top 10. And here he is, 9th position. So well done by Mr. Cope. As he battles John Hammond there, right behind him in the 00 and the 49 of Jason Hastings. And look at this for the lead. Here we go again. Payne's going to try to make a statement on this topside crossover coming. Not enough momentum to do it, though. We got a good run off of 4 there. mean, both the cars are just rotating very well. There's just something with that 93 that is that much better, that he's able to get the run through the corner that the 01 is not able to get when he's behind him. But great job by Hines to fight him off. Somebody not tell him, though, there's like 75 laps left to do this. I just sit back here and just watch. Right there, 93 missed the bottom by about half a car, or not even half a car, like the front end of a car. It's Bruno and Strickland battling for 7th here. Ed Perry's brought his 30 car back to pit road. So obviously a lot more damage on that thing than he thought. Of course, the new damage models with this car now. You'll see a lot more fenders and things flying off of it. Haven't said his name all night. Look at that 62 car. That's old Tommy Stanley. Oh, 56 up in the wall. Lemon turn. Just got too high on entry and got the wall. I was just mentioning Stanley here. Of course, races on Friday nights on the Captain Esports Network. He kind of made the comment earlier in chat. He's out here running in the 18th position right now. I mean, I could say out loud that he's running better tonight than he usually does on Fridays, but that might be mean of me to say. Oh, wait, I just said it anyways. And Justin Lewis trying to hold off to 17 up here for the 12th position. Saw the photos today on social media on Twitter. Which, by the way, you can follow the Captain Esports Network on there. Spire Motorsports, which is the paint scheme you're seeing that Premier Car 77. That's a Spire paint scheme for Carson Hocevar when he ran in the couple Xfinity races this year. Has taken over the Kyle Busch Motorsports building and already starting to do some work there in the front lobby, as I was seeing on Twitter. Kind of a bittersweet moment. That I did read. I think it was an interview that Busch did this week or recently where he said that Spire came to him and asked him about purchasing his chassis or something like that, and Kyle pretty much said, well, why don't you just purchase the whole team? And did they? So how about this? Hines has found something in this 57 car as he has pulled away to about a half second on Payne, unless Andrew is maybe backing up the car a little bit just to get some more right front to it. Maybe cooling down the tires a little bit after trying to make a run for it. Very interesting here. Everybody else, though, hanging on pretty strong here, running pretty tight times around each other. So a lot of good adjustments been made on these cars. I mean, look at the 3rd and 4th place cars within 2 seconds. 5th place, 2.1. I mean, Hartung only 3 seconds back, and then Bruno and Strickland only 3.5. I mean, that's a lot closer together than these guys were beginning of the race. They were pretty spread out. So a lot of good adjustments being made. I'm sure the nighttime is helping out with the grip, even though the track temp really hasn't gone down. some say this car is the toughest one to drive in all the stock cars on iRacing, so as 21 might have scraped up the wall a little bit there. Here comes the faster Pastor. Stoney Benfield driving that car all types of free inside the 77. This is 13th place battle. Stoney's been rocking that high side all night, so he's like, I can't take the top lane, so I'm just going to go next lane down and try to make the pass. Which I hadn't even had a chance to talk about. The bump over there, 3 and 4 on that top side is pretty evil. Not quite Iowa evil, but it's evil. There was a bump in 1 and 2 at the Iowa Speedway on iRacing that, much like real life, you can do some work to your car. Stoney finally going to make the pass. Here comes Shrek and Ghost with him. And now Lewis accidentally puts himself on the wall. Got too high on entry. I mean, the one thing we've seen tonight is the cream has risen to the top. Saw a lot of guys up there leading laps early and then kind of falling back, and then you saw Hines and Payne, Ehrman, Banks. I mean, look here. Let's put it like this. Corey Hines started 20th. He leads. Payne actually started second, and he's running second. Dakota Ehrman started 21st. He's third. Brandon Banks started 24th. He's fourth. Jesse Priest started 22nd and is fifth now. So 4 of the top 5 started 20th or back. And again, I don't know what Hines did to this car, but it woke up. Either that or the 93 has fallen off. Here's your separation right there. Ehrman hanging on to the 3rd position. All right, so let's get ourselves set up here for what could be the final pit stops of the race here. We came to the green flag at lap 115, which we're 25 laps in now. 115 for 200, it's 85. You split 85 in half, you get 42 and a half. So that would put us at let me do the quick math here. I got distracted by the message. 85 would be 42 from 115 is 157. So about 16 laps from the pit stop. Hines was just playing earlier. Okay. That's good to know. If that's the case. I mean, who knows? I mean, Payne might come alive here later on, because as I do remember, Hines and Payne both pulled away to about nearly 7 or 8 seconds earlier in this race. So as Payne's going to lose second, here comes Ehrman. I mean, I could believe that, what you're saying there, LSU 31. I could believe what you're saying 100% if the other cars behind Hines and Payne were close by. But those two drove away from these cars. And now all of a sudden you have the 57 driving away and the 93 staying back, and now just lost second, and now might be about to lose third and fourth. So I would almost lead to believe that the 93 did something that the car doesn't like right now more than the 57 was playing around. Though I could be so far off that I might be at the street course in Chicago and not the Speedway. I mean, that's just my take from what I'm seeing time-wise. I do appreciate your feedback, but as we're 55 laps to go, the 54 of Banks trying to get inside of Payne. As Jerry Culver comes to pit road, not sure if that's a scheduled stop or not. Oh, all right. I'm good with that. Yeah, I don't get a chance to watch these guys. I mean, I know about the teams they race on and stuff. But outside of that, I don't really have that knowledge. So I will trust your word. Yeah, next week the series will be at Dover for race number 2. And hopefully the main guy who does the broadcast will be back next week. As he was out, I guess, a little under the weather tonight. So hopefully he feels better. I know there's been stomach viruses and other things going around. And some C word that's still going around. But hopefully everybody's feeling better there. And glad to have a Saturday night off where I was able to step in and help out for the night. And tell you what, it's been a daggum good race. As you see the 000 Priest getting by the 54 Banks for 4th. Everybody else in the field's pretty spread out now, believe it or not. Not really seeing those battles that we were seeing throughout the race. I mean, everybody is kind of minding their own P's and Q's here. I mean, this is the battle right here. And I do once again thank all the viewers for watching the broadcast here tonight who are checking us out right now. Those who maybe have never watched the broadcast of ours before, or mine, I should say, because it's only me. And look at this, Corey Hines coming to pit road. This is interesting. This would be 37 laps into a run. Four tires of fuel and he pulls away. Unless this is somebody splitting this race into 3. And he's going to bring others with him. Dakota Ehrman's in. Hartung is in. So if you're faster, if you're somebody like Hines, who's, you know, if this is the case, I'm going off the information LSU 31's giving me here. If he is that much faster than Payne is, if you're Payne, do you run this car as far as you can now to counter the 57? Here comes Strickland in. I think within the next couple laps, you're going to have that decision made because it's either you do or you don't. There's really no between. kind of like the old Yoda line in Star Wars. You either do or you either. Of course, I'm going to lose. Man, if my wife was listening right now, I'd be dead. Do or do not. There is no try. And Went Racing just scared the piss out of me on the track. I look over, there's a new guy named Went Racing, and he's got a Grim Reaper as a photo. That's not creepy. Mark Bruno on pit road. Well, there's a couple of things to that. I agree with that statement. But let me also add this to you. He stays out longer here and say he goes another 10, 15 laps. He goes to like lap 165, 170 in that range. And a caution comes out. That's going to bring Hines to pit road with him. And then he steals the track position that way. So there's a couple of advantages to this battle. But the only disadvantage is that Hines is currently lap time wise about a second and a half faster. All right, Shrek and Ghost on pit road. And Brandon Banks with issues. He's over here in the grass, missed pit road entry. As Hastings and Parks comes to pit road. Somebody had to do it tonight. Yeah, unfortunately, pit road's over there. I mean, that's borderline Samsonite. He was way off. All right, so obviously the bed's been made here. I think Payne, Priest, Cope, Stoney Benfield. I think these top 6 cars now that are staying out, Crumley's a part of this too. I think those guys, their bed's made. They're going to run this car as far as they can on fuel, which 113, you can go about 50. Would be another 5 laps or so. And they'll do the one stop where these other guys are going to have to come back in probably the next 10 to probably about 15 laps. They'll be back in for another set of tires. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. That's the downfall to this strategy right here. Here comes Payne to pit road now. That's the one deficit right there. Side note, I have a really loud upstairs neighbor. I don't know if he works out up there or what's going on. I look at it like this. If he's going to be that loud, I'm okay with broadcasting. Just, yeah. I hear things sometimes hit the ground up above me, and I'm like, I think that was a medicine ball. Four tires and fuel, 93 pulls away. So now Jesse Priest, the leader. Barbara Hawkins joining the Stoney Benfield clan tonight. Stanley on pit road, so is Crumley. Those who are actually clicked on the subscribe button this evening for this race, I do want to add a thank you to you guys. Last night during the broadcast I had, actually went over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so such an honor. So it was kind of cool. Like, I went into last night's race thinking, okay, probably not happening. I'm at 987. And I made a comment about it during the broadcast. And a couple people stepped in and said, hang on, not get your viewers. And I don't hope they're bots or something, but all of a sudden I blinked and I was over 1,000. So, cool deal there. Thank you to all the viewers from number 1 to number 1,000 for always coming back and watching. I know I'm not, and I am not afraid to say this out loud, I am not the most exciting broadcaster in the world. There's people out there that do a great job, and I'll go ahead and mention names. You know, people like Mooncar, who has his fun, and I mean, one of the guys I came off of broadcasting with, Nordgar, back in 10 years ago. There's a lot of great broadcasters out there that are a lot more entertaining than my voice is. But the one thing I always learned when I first started radio 10 years ago, 2010, or I'm sorry, 2010. No, more than 10 years ago, 2006. One of the first things I ever learned was be yourself. And here I am. As Justin Cope comes to pit road. So that'll hand the lead over to Hines with 37 to go. And you know what? I am liking the 93 strategy a lot more now. I know I just said a second ago LSU 31, I agreed with you. But I'm looking up here at the scoreboard right now, as Cope's going to leave pit road here in a second. There's only a 14-second gap from first to sixth. And you're running a delta of about 43 seconds, 42 seconds on pit road, as apparently Justin sped on pit road. So that simple math right there, you're looking at about a 26-second difference. And you're on a track where you're doing lap times of 30 to 32 seconds on there. So when Hines comes back to pit road here in the next probably 10 laps, you're looking at him having almost a whole track to catch up. That's if he comes. You know what? Let me back that up real quickly with this prerequisite. If he comes to pit road. Now, Hines might be going the rest of the way on tires here. And if he does that, then he might be in the catbird seat here. Now, Payne has knocked it down to 12 seconds. Now, as I think about this more and more, and I'm rambling on about it, I think that's exactly what Hines is going to do, is stay out here and go to the finish, and Payne's going to have to catch him. So, pretty much that last minute and a half of me talking about him pitting again, just delete that. Sometimes I just ramble on and sound like an idiot. That's okay. It's not like I have anybody to pass my information along with. I don't have a Boyer or a Dale Jr. or something with me. It's literally me, myself, and I. I guess I could talk to my boxes next year. Hello? Anyways. Colby Sutphin watching. Oh, wait. No, that's not Colby. Yeah, is that Colby? I don't know. Yeah, it's Colby Sutphin. 24-8. I'll yell at you. How are you going to yell at me when you're typing? I'm all about having fun. I like chatting with viewers. For those who don't know, I mentioned that earlier. And I like for the viewers that this, when I do broadcast, it's not about me. It's about these racers out here on the track, and it's about the viewers. I want you guys to have a good time watching the racing that you're doing. And I want these racers to be able to sit back and watch and be like, you know what, that was cool. The broadcast and all that different stuff. So we're going to keep an eye on this because Payne has got it down to 9 seconds. And there's 30 laps to go. And he is currently 0.8 of a second faster. Now I got to pull my math hat on here. 30 laps, 0.8 of a second. He would get there somewhere probably roughly 8 laps to go, 7 laps to go. But he's got to keep his tires under him, and he's got to hope that Hines isn't saving his tires. Let's go back here to the 12th position. Stoney Benfield attacking Cody Parks here. Justin Lewis behind him. The faster pastor, as he's known as. Not many church pastors you see on iRacing. If so, they're quiet about it. Yeah, that's the way that always works. We all know that. You would think that the pastor on Sundays would, or on Saturday nights before his service on Sunday, he would be finishing up his sermon or whatever he's going to talk about. Nah, this guy's on iRacing. My kind of pastor. So Dakota Ehrman is 3.1 seconds back, and there you see Payne. It is 7.9 right now. Let's actually, here, I'll let you guys see. Let's put the times up here on the board for you to see. As you see Payne at a 31.72, 32.23, so a half second now. So remember, I was talking about, I think that is one thing you are going to see is the gap of the lap times are going to come together. And that could be the downfall of Payne, is if the tires equal out. Cameron Combs running up at the top 10 right now to battle with the Pennzoil Chevrolet of John Hammond. Oh, Combs dusting off the wall a little bit there. Here's another thing I want to point out that, again, little things I notice when I broadcast. Hines has ran the same lap time the last 3 laps. That 13 has not left the board. Payne just finally fell off 5/100ths to an 80 instead of a 75. Watch these lap times right here. Watch this 13 if it changes this time. It did there to a 21. Let's see what Payne does. 89. So, I mean, they're literally running consecutive. I mean, they're running lap after lap after lap at a consistent pace, which is amazing. Look at that 31.73 there behind him in 4th. So what do we think, guys? Do we have another caution coming, you think? LSU 31 thinks there is. We've had 4 so far tonight. 1 was for the stage. Technically the first one you could say was a stage, but there was a wreck at the same time. And we've had 2 for cause. All right. Look at that. Last time by. A 17 to a 10. As Payne burned off the car. And Priest is only 2 seconds back here, and he just ran an 88 last time. Let's go this time. 32.15, 32.06. That's only a tenth now. And the lead's still at 6.5. Yeah, 2/10 on that lap. I mean, Payne could get to second. As Cameron Combs on pit road, 77 get a little free there right in front of Payne. I'm sure that did help him. Oh, that is not what he wanted to see. And in fairness to these two, they're racing for position right here. All right, 18 laps to go. Let's step away one last time real quickly for to hear a word from our sponsors, 811, as you're watching the Captain Esports Network in the NSR Xfinity Series.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
$16 laps to go here at Chicagoland, the opening race of the NSR Xfinity Series presented by NC811.org. In the Chicagoland Speedway, 16 to go. As mentioned, Hines continues to lead by 4.4 seconds over Dakota Ehrman. Andrew Payne 6 seconds back in third, with Jesse Priest and Colby Hartung, your top 5. And I don't know how. I've been doing leagues that feature 811 as a sponsor now for 2 years now, with our Sunday and Monday series. How have we never come up with the idea? And I need to do this starting Monday. I need somebody to make a note for me. But how have we not had Safety Sam, which is the 811 mascot guy? How have we not, like, hypothetically made him the pace car driver? I mean, that's PR work right there is what that is. I'm blaming Kevin for that, by the way. 01 having all types of issues back there. The orange 01, by the way. $13 laps to go. Everybody done pitting for the most part here. Payne's times have balanced out with Hines, which we kind of predicted would happen. So Corey's done a good job just being consistent, running his own pace. Payne won both the stages, but it looks like it could be, unless something weird happens here in the next 13 laps, the Hines car going to victory lane here tonight. Still got 9 cars on the lead lap. Craig Parks right here in front of the leader, the next one to go a lap down. We've had the 4 cautions, and that's been it. Some great green flag racing throughout the night here. In a race, I'll be honest, I did expect to have a few cautions. And that was mainly because talking to Mark Sikosi, who's the owner of the league, I mean, we're in the middle of practice. I'm in there getting some notes from him and stuff so I can sound smart in the series. And he's sitting there signing people up to come race in the league. And I'm like, all right, note taken. We're going to have a lot of newcomers tonight. And we've had some newcomers, but they've put on a great show. So we could have a 3-car battle here for second before this race ends. Let's go to Dakota's view here on the rear. The car directly behind Dakota is Andrew Payne. The red car directly behind Andrew is Parise. And they are all within about a second of each other as we come to 10 laps to go as they pass by the Thomas Stanley automobile, as the great Ken Squire would say. Couple lap down cars here battling, but Stoney Benfield to 12. Shout out to him, by the way. He reached out to me earlier today when the issues came up with the main broadcaster. Said he couldn't be here tonight. I was actually, where was I at? I was in a store. Oh, hold on, Stoney. And he said, hey, need some help tonight. Made a couple of phone calls, and bada bing, bada boom, here I am. That 59 not for position, by the way, with Stoney. And the 48 car obviously is the second place car, so this has got to be very uncomforting. You're in the middle, 3 wide, you got the orange cars getting loose in front of you. I mean, everything's great, right? I mean, that 01 is swatting flies up in front of Ehrman right here. And don't look now. There's third place right there, Payne. And then Priest is right behind him. There's your battle for third right here. Sikosi said, I don't want a part of this. I'm out. Let everybody go by. Ooh, some contact right there. Benfield and Payne making contact. At least I thought there was contact. I couldn't tell exactly, but the way it looked. Oh, hold on, 01. That's how you not lift. Oh, he almost got that car, though. Oh, Shrek and Ghost holding on for his life out of here. He's still loose. He's still loose. Oh, he's in the wall. He's still straight. No caution, I think. I mean, he just took the whole half a lap to wreck. Oh, he's still going for it. He's trying to wreck. Uh-oh. Caution is out. Oh, no. He just wrecked for an entire lap. Oh, Brady, Shrek, and Ghost. Might have just opened up Pandora's box to a situation here. That was a whole lap of something. Guess we'll start here. But he gets loose the first time. I mean, he's okay here, full throttle and everything. Matter of fact, let's pause here. Let's go to the pit stops, because we have got cars on pit road. Do you dare take 2 tires right here? Four tires for Hines. Four tires for Payne. 4 tires for the 48. Everybody 4 tires, it looks like. Oh, my gosh. All right, so back to the Shrek and Ghost lap, if you will. I mean, he's all good there. And he goes into turn 1 here, and the car gets, I think here it just gets free on him. I can't say anything here. He's trying to save the car. D-Dido right there. Hospital hop, whatever you want to call it, into the wall. And he stays straight here. He's going to go down to turn 3. He gets down the apron, then a D-wedges right there, gets loose on him. I will leave the opinion to the viewers on this one. Well then. Here, we still got 2 laps to green, so let's do this. Let's go back to the spin. I'll let you guys decide. Here we go. Now, they all have tires. So there you go. I'll let you guys figure that one out. Man. Everybody's got tires. Hines has been better on the short run. Payne has been better on the long run, but that last run, Hines was way faster. Fastest lap of the race is... looks like Payne with a 56. I think it's Hines' race to lose. I think LSU 31 was on it. Question is how good. Well, here's the next question. What kind of setup do you have for a 3 laps for a restart here? By the way, in overtime. Restart. Here we go. Hines on it, and some door banging. 93 and 48. I think Ehrman might have thought that he was going to go to the apron. Payne's going to send it in there, clear for second. Gets loose, slide up the track there a little bit. Got a really good run off turn 4, though. White flag, here we go. Ehrman's there. He might get pushed into the wall, though. Oh, good clean race in there. Exactly what Hines wants to see. Payne going to get a run off turn 4, not going to be enough. Reaper Speed Labs and the 57 of Corey Hines will win the opener at Chicago. Payne going to get second. Ehrman third. Priest fourth. Hartong fifth. And Hines said, I ain't got no burnouts in me. Oh, great racing there. Good stuff. Great league. So we take a look at the final results here from Chicago. Hines wins it by a 10th over Payne. Dakota Ehrman gave it all Payne could have there for second. Going to finish third. Jesse Priest fourth. Colby Hartung finishes fifth. Bruno sixth. Brandon Bakes finishing seventh. Pole sitter Strickland there finishing in the 8th position with Cameron Combs. Stoney Benfield gets top 10. Uh-oh. Stoney's sermon ought to be pretty interesting tomorrow, huh? John Hammond 11th, Justin Lewis 12th, Jason Hastings 13th, Brady Schreckenghost 14th, and Justin Cope 15th. Mark Sakusi in the 16th position with Jason Crumley and Thomas Stanley 18th. 19th going to DL Lemon. Craig Parks 20th, Jerry Culver 21st, Ed Perry. Cody Kinsey, unfortunately, I knew he had some blinking issues, but I did not notice he left or something. Finishing 23rd, 24th, Brian Wiggins, 25th, Joseph Grijalva, Andy Reeves, and Michael Brooks finishing 27th, 6th and 7th, I should say. Will Young, 28th. 29th to Jason Kraft, Jeff Chandler, 30th. And as for Eugenio Alonso and Timothy Davis, I believe there's that white building back in the corner there you just saw for a second. That's all. That's the IKEA. I believe they're in there shopping right now. Good race from everybody here. I believe the top 3 are going to come up here and join us. It's going to give me an opportunity to learn a little bit here because these guys put on a pretty dadgum good show. And I think here we'll bring up Dakota Ehrman, who might be the probably more disappointed one out of the group because he had a second place car, it looked like they're locked up before the things happened there at the end. And unfortunately just fallen up a little bit short there in that 48 car, but man, you had to battle up from the 21st position and just kind of patiently worked your way up through the field. to get this finish tonight. So great job, man. And I know that wasn't easy.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, a lot of battling. Came to the field once, ended up having an issue and had to pull off the end of stage one,
I do remember that.
Lost a ton of spots, and then had to come back up to the field, and then I got stuffed in a wall and had to go back again to get the damage fixed and come back through again, and then we got to that second to last stint there, and we were kind of on low fuel, and I was really bad. The car was really bad, but somehow I was able to sneak around for second and hang on there. And I was ready for that to just go green to the end and just take the checker in second. I mean, I didn't have anything for Corey, and I was really lucky that Andrew didn't have enough time to do anything more with me. I think he had a better car all around. We built for the daytime and just were not good for the night. But overall, it was a really strong run, really good showing, and looking forward to some of the weeks coming up.
I noticed and I don't get to broadcast a lot of open series races. As a matter of fact, less than 10, I would probably say. Tonight I noticed with this open car that it was pretty much, you could run almost anywhere. And then when the lights came on, it was everybody gets to the bottom.
Yeah, I think the cooler the track got, the faster we got, the more the nose moved down, and we were a bit like the splitter was buried in the track,
right?
Especially on short fuel when the rear end was raised up a little bit because we didn't have as much weight in the rear of the car. And when it was like that, if you went to the top, you were just so in the track that you couldn't turn. You were just giving up speed. You had to run the bottom. There was no other way. And then I think that very last run, we were all kind of back in mostly full fuel. We were a little better off, but as the track gets faster, it's going to be harder to do that. But overall, it was really cool seeing everybody run all over the place. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, great job. Good to watch you. I know you had, like you said, a couple of adversities from a black screen to that Grishova kid. I know him way too long, so I can say that to him. On the back straightaway, and then to come back and get that top three. Nice job tonight, and throw some shout-outs out there.
Hey, thanks, man. Big shout out to all the guys at Phase 2 working on the car with me and working on this thing all week. You guys for broadcasting, sponsor the league. We got 811. Just really happy to be here and looking forward to the full season. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, man. See you at Dover next week. Good luck.
Thank you. Absolutely.
That is Dakota Ehrman finishing third. I didn't even think about that until you said anything. Yeah, he had to, when you see the wreck early in the race with the 31, there's a car down the apron, and it happens to be Dakota, who had a black screen issue, and then Joseph Grishova. They got tangled up on the back straightaway and had to get that car fixed, and comes back to finish third. So good comeback on his end. All right, now the two interviews. I'm not looking forward to any interviews, but I've got my notebook out for these two interviews right here. Andrew Payne, we'll start with him finishing second. I guess we can call it a comeback when you come from third to second, where you pretty much ran all night, winning both stages. And it just seemed like for so long in that race, you two were pretty much identical, you and Corey. And you kind of got him in the long run. And then came that third run of the race. And the question I have is, did your car fall off more, or did he just take off finally?
I think ultimately Corey made a really good change there in that third run, and I thought we were going to be good, so I didn't make quite as big of an adjustment, and I think he swung the right way and got it really good, and yeah, I was good on the short run keeping up with them, but as soon as we got about 15 laps into that run, it was all over, and he was just pulling me big time.
Which seemed to be the opposite of what was going on, because I remember at the beginning of the race, you saw Corey kind of Corey had to work his way up through the field where you started second. But then I used stage 2 as the example. I mean, Corey got a great restart, started in the lead, and then you finally got up there through. I mean, you two were neck and neck. I mean, I was watching your lines. I mean, everything was all but identical until you got to turn 2. It seemed like you were a little more shallow coming off. But for the most part, it was like you guys were, you were able to get the run center off on him towards the end of that run.
Yeah, it seemed like, especially stage 2 when we were nose to tail, like you were saying, yeah, it just seemed like the exit was a little bit better for us, and I wasn't fighting as much looseness as I had earlier this week in some other races and some testing and stuff. So, and I think part of that too was I also was maybe not pushing quite as hard in those early parts of the stint, because I knew what having the knowledge of what the car would end up doing. I didn't want to burn the right rear too much, but I think because we were talking before I came up here, I think Corey just was struggling on a little bit of tightness there, and where I wasn't struggling with that, so that's where the long run pace came in, especially towards the end of stage 2. And but yeah, he made really good adjustments there.
Yeah, obviously both of you guys did a great job, and the only other question I really have is the pit stop strategy there. You obviously he comes in right at the opening of the window, and you pitted about 13 laps later, had about a 15-second gap. Did you feel confident enough that you thought you could get to him, or was it a matter of not burning off your tires at that point?
I think for me, it was more of not burning off my tires. Because right before we came into the pit stops, I was really loose, and I knew that the less time I could spend on the tires, the better I'd be.
Hey,
And
Dakota, you still in
I
there?
was, expecting to make up a little bit of time on him, and I think we sort of evened out before that caution came out in terms of the gap. But I, I don't think I would have caught him. I think if I had saved a little bit more in the beginning of that last stint, I probably wouldn't have gotten as close to him, even though I would have saved tires a little bit more. And another thing I was keeping in mind with how cold the track was compared to testing, I knew we were going to be really tight on fuel right at the pit window, so I decided to go a little bit longer, so I had a little bit more play in fuel and not having to worry about potentially saving. And I don't know if Corey or Dakota had to save at all, but I know for us we were to the good on fuel, so I could just push as hard as I needed to and not have to worry about that like I did in the second stage. But it was a good night all around.
You just reminded me, yeah, that second stage you kind of ran out coming to pit road. Was that just did you not put enough in, or was it just burning that much?
A little bit of both. I made a little bit of a mistake and put probably a gallon less of fuel than I needed to, and I know adjustment wise it helped. It made the
Right.
car really good, and I would have liked to have saved a little bit, but with having to race Corey like I did there, it just I just couldn't save it all and ended up running out. And yeah, that was that was a driver error. So yeah, I didn't mean to do that, but I guess in the end it still worked out.
Yeah, obviously second place finish. I mean, I know it's not the one you want, but hey, best of the rest, I guess so to say. But still, great run tonight, and send some shout out to everyone, you bud.
First and foremost, huge shout out to Mark and all the guys that put on this league. This is my first race of the ever here, so
Wow.
to come out with a couple stage wins and a second place is not bad at all. Huge shout out to you, Chris, and the broadcast team. Looking forward to going back and scrolling through the broadcast later tonight or tomorrow, and see how it looked from the outside point of view there. Huge shout out to Reco Performance and Gossip Bus Lines. Reco brought us some bad fast setups today, and looking forward to continuing with that for the rest of the season. Huge shout out to my parents and grandparents for supporting me in all my forms of racing. Huge shout out to all the rest of the drivers as well for running us clean, running us hard, and putting on a really good show for these 200 laps here. And last but certainly not least, huge shout out to all the fans that come out and support us drivers, the broadcast, the league. Really appreciate you guys coming out and watching us do some virtual circles for a couple hours every Saturday night.
That's a good way to put it. Oh, great job tonight, man.
Thank you.
All right, Andrew Payne finishing second tonight, one short of Corey Hines. But as he mentioned, the brighter side of things here is he led and won both stages, so he's actually probably going to be the point leader when it's over with here tonight. So, great job on his part. And then here's the guy, the man of the hour, Corey Hines, who goes to victory lane tonight in the Reaper Speed Labs, either 57 or 01, whatever you want to call it. You had two different numbers tonight, technically, but you got the main number you wanted, and that was the number one, going to victory lane here this evening. And a battle that I was just talking to Andrew about, man. You guys were, it seemed neck and neck. And, when I talked to him, he gave you the credit for making the perfect adjustment there at the end of the race to do whatever you needed to do with the car. But just from what I observed from the outside, obviously you came up through the field from 20th, but it just seemed like for a little bit you had a good short run car, but Andrew was just that little bit more better on the longer run. And then you made whatever you decided to do in the third stage, and your car just took off.
Yeah, I was second to last stop. I mean, it was nose was in the track, really tight, and I just happened to hit it that last stop, and it just came to life way better. Just took me a while to figure it out.
Yeah, and that's kind of tough because it could be as simple as a tire pressure adjustment to a sway bar to a whatever. Something simple as that to loosen the car up, and you made the right move, man. I know it's got to feel pretty good to kick off the season with a win.
Yeah, absolutely, especially how that race started. It did not seem like it was going to go well with, I think the track was about, compared to what the officials have been, it was probably a good 30 to 40 degrees cooler track than we've been running, so it kind of threw everybody for a little curveball, I think.
Yeah, and obviously that's what led you to have to make the adjustment, and then obviously you come down pit road right as the window opened, and I felt that I was like, that's going to be an interesting move, but it paid off. You were able to get about a 15-second advantage on Andrew, who came to pit road about 15 laps later or so, and you were able to hold it off that whole time until that caution come out.
Yeah, I didn't fill the tank with fuel, so I kind of didn't have an option there.
Right.
Usually the car's just faster, the lighter fuel load in it.
So what was it? Obviously, you battled with Andrew there, and I want to go back to that second stage again real quickly. You guys were running nearly identical lines. And, I said to Andrew, the one thing I noticed different was coming off turn 2. It seemed like he was about a half a car length lower off the corner. And I don't know if that was like the difference or maybe if that's how tight your car was, going back to what you said. But either way, man, seeing, two of the setups that you guys run, I know you got Reaper, he's got Ryko, and obviously two of the top setup companies out there and stuff, for you guys to fight it out like that, it just seemed like a game of inches.
Yeah, it was. He was definitely a lot better most of that race until I finally figured out an adjustment that worked for me. I didn't think I would have anything for him there.
Well, you did a great job, man. Congratulations. Welcome to Victory Lane to kick off the season, and send some shout-outs to whoever you like to.
Yeah, just thank the guys at Reaper and Legacy, and thank you guys for putting this on. It was a good race. Good, clean race for the most part. We stayed green, so that was fun.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations on the win.
All right, thank you.
You too. Corey Hines going to Victory Lane here tonight as he kicks off the season in Victory Lane here this evening at Chicagoland Speedway. So that was a lot of fun. I had a good time for a broadcast that really wasn't planned until about 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. So big shout out to Stoney Benfield, who reached out to me for being a part of this. Shout out to all the viewers who watched tonight. Big shout out to the racers. Obviously, 95% of these guys I've never talked to or know who they are. Shout out to those guys for putting on a good show. Shout out to Mark for also allowing me to step in. He's the boss man of the league. So, of course, shout out to 811. Those guys do some great things for the leagues out here on iRacing. And not only that, you got the Josh Williams paint scheme they ran earlier this year and just getting their name out there. They do a great job. So, Ann and everyone there at NC811, good job on their parts for what they do, keeping everybody safe. And I think I got everybody. So, that was fun. Hope everybody enjoys the broadcast, and looking forward to... I'll have to come check out the league in the future and watch it and see what goes on Saturday nights when I get the opportunity to. So, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you back Monday for some more league racing here on the Captain Esports Network. Always remember, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, just want a life that is worth every day exploring,
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah.